Welcome to Fifth Dimensional Life, Mass Human Awakening. I'm Lisa, your host. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's been a while, and yeah, I'm super excited to be creating more videos here. So if you haven't already, please share, like, and subscribe. And put your thoughts in the comment section below. I'd love to continue the conversation down there. Today, I'm going to be talking about Farsight and what they do, how they do it. And a lot of their findings are, they're just mind blowing. I'm absolutely flabbergasted. And I'm surprised I haven't actually found them until recently. So Farsight is a group of humans that do remote viewing, and they follow the CIA protocols that were used for espionage. The protocols that they use are very precise, scientific, exact, and they are proven over and over and over again, like time and time again, to be very accurate. They have extremely well-trained people or humans that do remote viewing, and they've been doing it for quite a few years. Actually, I believe it's since 1995. Yeah. So the amount of information and findings that they have is just staggering. They have their YouTube channel as well. So, and then their website, and then also Prime, farsightprime.com. So this is like their paid version of, they have like Vimeo videos on here. Highly recommend getting the full version. It's so awesome. It's so worth it. On YouTube, they kind of have these like teaser videos. They put forecasts out, and they have like movies and series. Some of them are just their main fellow, Courtney. He is the director of Farsight, and he just will talk in a lot of the videos. And then some of the other ones you actually get to see like the remote viewing exercises being done by like 3 or 4 of the different remote viewers, and you actually get to like see them draw out what they're seeing and the beings that they're interacting with and everything like that. It's super fascinating. And then they also have some reenactment videos too, which I gotta admit, they're kind of funny. They make me chuckle a bit just because they are literally like miming how they telepathically communicate. So their lips like aren't moving, but they're like kind of nodding and stuff. It's funny, but also at the same time, it's very, very realistic, because I've had telepathic communication with beings, with many different types of extraterrestrial beings before. And so I've done that, what they do. So it's really interesting actually seeing it in a video, because I haven't really seen that like done like that before. So yeah, they do, because with remote viewing, I did a video on it a little while ago. So if you want a full rundown of what remote viewing is, you can go check out that video. But you can, when you're in the quantum, when you access the quantum field, time is happening all at the same time. So past, present, future is all happening right then and there. So you can actually access any different event, person, beings, anywhere on this planet or anywhere in the universe and other universes too. Yeah, so there's literally no limit to what you can see, other than I think like your own mind getting in the way. They have great resources on here: free scientific remote viewing instruction, free meditations, their groups, in-person instructions. They have like PDFs, videos, everything of like how to learn remote viewing. I'm just going through it right now. Courtney's son, Aziz, he's really funny, actually, like very like low-key funny. He pokes a lot of fun at the mainstream media, which is just very entertaining, but he does it in like such a well-mannered, well-spoken way that is just, it's really well put together. And he does a lot of these instructional videos too. So They also have like books. They do cryptocurrency forecasting too. So you can actually earn money from this. I haven't really gotten into this yet, but I'm interested in learning more about it. They have their free projects. You can watch things of like what actually happened in the Egyptian pyramids. Like, why were those built? How were they built? Exploding planet, multiple universes, JFK, Martin Luther King, Atlantis, Adolf Hitler, 9/11, JFK assassination, bases on Mars, Time Cross monthly mystery series, Human News, Appeal to the Galactic Federation of Worlds. This one's fascinating. And that's the one that they did like the actual, what is it? The appeal to the Galactic Federation. And they're like doing the reenactment of it. And this, I've watched it once and I started rewatching it again because there's a lot of information to unpack in it. And a lot of their videos are quite long. They're like over an hour, many of them. And so this appeal to the Galactic Federation of Worlds, they contact the GFL quite often in their videos from what I've watched so far. And the GFL is kind of annoyed of them. Like, why do humans keep bugging us? Like, we have a lot on our plate. There's a lot of like division in the GFL too. I feel like there's a lot of infiltration of the malevolent side in there too. They're so strict on getting consent from humans. I think part of that is like, yes, they are following rules, but also I feel like they're getting sabotaged in a lot of ways because there have been opportunities for them to step in and help us, but they've always been like pulled back. And so Farsight, it was in 2021, I think it was in like summertime or September or something, when they did this appeal to the GFL and said, okay, this is humanity's formal appeal to the GFL for you to step in to help us. And they're still like, oh, well, yeah, humans aren't really ready and we need their consent. And and there's a huge domino effect that they found, Farsight's found through all of their different remote viewing, and humanity is enslaved. The Essassani, which are the half human, half grays, are also enslaved. The grays are enslaved. Then I haven't heard it much from them, but I've heard it from Elizabeth April and Corey Good and some other people who discuss this information, is that there are many of the reptilians, like the lower echelons, that are also enslaved. And I imagine there's probably other beings that are also enslaved on this planet. And I've talked about it before in other videos where Earth has a nickname. It's called the slave planet or the prison planet. And not just humans, but all these other groups are also enslaved here. And this, just became so clear to me, like, holy smokes, like we have so much like riding on humanity waking up. And what's absolutely fascinating is Farsight took a deep dive into the Essassani, and they also referenced some books too, which I'm really keen on getting. One of them was this: when the Roswell crash happened, there was this lady who was working with the CIA, and there was one surviving gray being that was unharmed from the crash. And this lady, out of like all the people who helped the grays, like, or that gray being out of the crash, like she was the only one who could communicate with this gray being. So she did like this huge long interview over like weeks of time with this gray being telepathically, and she put it in this book. So I'm super keen on learning more about it. I'll just find exactly what the book is here. And there's like many different variations of the Essassani, because some are more gray and some are more human. The more gray ones are called hybrids and the more human ones are called hubrids. which I found quite, I really like the name Hubrids. It just kind of like makes my insides warm. It gives me a warm, fuzzy feeling because I do have Essassani children, which I also mentioned in some of my previous videos too, where I had been abducted throughout my life and my eggs were taken. And yeah, I met my hybrid children through hypnotherapy. And so I'm very connected to the Essassani and to this mission of helping free humanity and my children, like the Essassani beings. And then also, I've had interactions with reptilians and with mantis beings too, and the insectoids. They are also enslaved by the reptilians. Like, I'm just so, my mind's just been like blown open even more. And like I was kind of at the point where not too many things were surprising me. And then going through all of the Farsight stuff, my mind and world and consciousness, the universe in my consciousness has expanded even further. The book that I mentioned about this, the Gray interview where the lady was like interviewing the Roswell crash Gray survivor, is called Alien Interview, and it's based on the documents provided by Matilda O'Donnell McElroy. So a lot of it is just conversations of like the questions and answers, and it has been like edited as well. So you can get it on Amazon. This is information that is released. It's been released for a long time. There's no denying it. There's so much evidence behind this too. So that's a really, really cool resource for just taking a deep dive into the Essassani. And then there's another book called Walking Among Us, The Alien Plan to Control Humanity by David M. Jacobs, PhD. That's another one of the books that they mention in this Essassani video. The threat is real. He mentions, Courtney, who's talking in this video, he mentions that the Hubrids look so similar to humans. They just have way better telepathic capabilities and neurological capabilities. So they can use mind control on humans. They can mimic us. They look like us. They can telepathically communicate. They, much of the like reptilian dark force plan, or like the Orion group's plan, is to just keep all of these different groups enslaved, and they will be using, their plan is to use the Essassani beings to control humanity, because if humans don't totally wake up, which is a possibility, in one of the timelines, we would end up just being controlled by the Essassani, and we would have no idea. And it's way easier to control people, beings, if they don't know that they're being controlled, if they don't know that they're being enslaved. It's so easy to just keep them enslaved. Just like the majority of humanity has no idea that this is a prison planet that we live on, and we are stuck here, and we were put here a long, long time ago. And we always forget every time we incarnate, we forget our past lifetimes. And yeah. Oh my God. This death trap though has got me so stuck. I'm still trying to really figure it out. I'm trying to find the video here. This death trap. I'm still really trying to watch my head, or wrap my head around this. So people who are here were mostly dumped here from somewhere else, from other planets, on other star systems within our galaxy, and possibly from other star systems in nearby galaxies. They get dumped here by being born here. They lose all their memories and who they were in past, where they came from, who their families were and are and were, and don't remember the property that they owned or taken from them. Everything was erased. And this prison planet is an actual computer program. It is a holographic program. So I used to think like, okay, when you die, there was this like white light beam that was like crystalline God frequency energy that would just pull you in and love you and take care of you, take care of your soul. And then you would go through this life review and this council of people would, or spirits, whatever, they would like say, okay, you need to work on this. And then you would just go and rest in heaven and be like fully fulfilled. And then like when you're ready to, you would like incarnate again. That's what I thought. And I was so wrong. I was so wrong. I was so wrong. And that's that whole thing, the like white light tractor beam and everything. It's part of the computer program. It's not real. And when that white light tractor beam thing, that is a hologram projection, and it gives you good feelings. So you end up getting trapped into it. You get sucked into it. And then it's so crazy. Then you get zapped by, your spirit gets zapped by like thousands and thousands and thousands of volts of power, and all of your memories, everything gets wiped away, which it's not fair. Like, we're already in this low dense third dimensional reality that's so hard and so painful and difficult on so many layers and levels. And then when we die, to almost escape out of it, we get sucked back in and we have no other choice. Like, at least I can find humor in it, because it's so messed up. It's so messed up. And further insult to injury is like, who's going to believe this stuff? If you aren't awakened, if your mind is not totally open and like really, really wide awake, like mine is, and many of you who are watching this video, like obviously you got to be awakened to a certain degree that you're open to hearing this, because many people just are not even open to it. And I can see why, because this information's terrifying to learn. It shatters your whole paradigms, like all the paradigms that you've created in your consciousness, in your mind complex. It shatters them all, and then you don't really know who you are. So yeah, I don't know. I'm still really trying to figure out this, and like part of the Great Awakening is that they want to end this prison system, which Courtney, I believe he said, they don't even know how to dismantle this death trap system. And, you know, like now that I know and you're aware of that, this tractor beam thing after you die is a hologram, like what happens if you just, your spirit like flies away really fast, then where do you go? You know, are you just stuck in purgatory land, kind of like on Earth as like a spirit? And just, you know, like how would you escape? Or would you just go like escape off of this planet and try and find somewhere else to go? But like soul harvesting is a very real thing, because souls give off a lot of energy, and like the reptilians and grays, or like the Orion groups, they do soul harvesting where they capture souls. And so like if you did try and escape this death trap, then like you would be super vulnerable to be caught by the soul harvesters. So unless you had like a very benevolent, loving group of ETs waiting for you after you die, that you could go, your soul could go and escape with them, and they would take you and let you reincarnate on one of their planets back in an ET body that you used to be in. uh, that's like, what are the chances of that? Slim to none, you know. And Courtney also mentions that many of the people who get dumped here, we're prisoners because we broke some law in the universe or one of the multiverses, because apparently in all the other places, they really like order, structure, rules, regulations, lots of like very strict boundaries, which, are good. They have their place, obviously, but they don't like a lot of creativity. Art, music, things like that aren't as widely expressed as they are here on our planet. So the majority of people who get dumped here are artists. And when he was listing off the different type of people that get listed or that get dumped here, I checked off pretty well all of the things. It was like singers, musicians, dancers, actors, writers, like all of those things. I was like, yeah, check, 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 check. They don't like authority. They like to rebel. Like, so much of it was me to a T. Like, I hate working for other people. I have to work for myself. I don't like following rules. Like, all the COVID stuff was so impossible for me to follow, because I was like, screw you guys. I'm not going to do what you tell me. Like, screw this. I know what your game is. I know what you're up to, and I'm not going for it. So again, there's a fair amount of humor in there that I can find, because man, this makes so much sense and answers so many of the questions that I've been pondering for so much of my life. But at the same time, like, it's kind of a big letdown. Like, okay, I understand the prison system even more now, but is there any way to escape it? And even if I did have the opportunity to escape it, would I want to escape it? Because what's the alternative? Potentially getting snatched up by some soul harvesting psychopaths? Well, technically this prison system is already run by those soul psychopath harvesters. But this one's slightly more structured, and it is also known as like the school planet, because your soul learns so many of the hard lessons here. Man, I don't know. This is just, it's so wild. It's so wild. And again, I still need to like watch it a couple more times and really like to really understand it. If you guys have any information on this too, I would love to hear it. They also have the escape, which goes into a bit more of like the death project trap and how to like escape it, which I found this very similar to the death trap one. I'll have to rewatch it again, because yeah, I'm still really trying to get it. The domain was really interesting too, because it went into like the first kind of colony. I believe they were like greys, some sort of greys that were like really benevolent and loving, and they were here on Earth and they were doing like really good work. And and then the Orion, the old dark empire, which is like the Orion group, they came and just wiped them all out. There's about 3,000 of them, and they just took them all out. And then they put in this prison system hologram thing like around our planet, so that all of those beings that they just killed are stuck in this prison system. And the people, or like the beings who were part of this colony, their original star system clan community has tried to come back to Earth to rescue them, like do these rescue missions, which I've also heard about on in like other books and stuff. Corey Good mentions them too, where they have these like rescue missions where ETs will come to Earth and find humans and like end up killing them. They just leave their like murdered body there, or they might not have any markings on them or anything, but they'll leave the corpse there. And one of the ET crafts got picked up or whatever by I think it was the US government, and they asked the ETs like, why did you kill this human? What is wrong with you? And they're like, no, we were rescuing the soul inside of there. The soul is one of us, and they got stuck here on this prison planet in this low third dimensional reality. Oh, poor them, and that was like a huge shock to the US intelligence community. Was like, holy smokes, like this is not a good planet. Like, it is amazing, it has so many incredible amenities, and it is an oasis in so many forms, but also it is a messed up prison system. This is like, these realizations are just, I'm beside myself here. Then they go into public negotiations with extraterrestrials. And what happened, just to sum it up, was like 70, 80 years ago, when the Roswell crash happened, and the like stupid humans. And I don't usually say like negative terms like that, but really that was like, they got such a screwed over deal. It's horrible. They were like, yeah, we'll trade humanity for extraterrestrial technology. Oh yeah, that's a great deal. When really the ETs were like just giving them barely enough technology that they had to like reverse engineer it themselves, and still it wasn't even like the enough technology to like help humanity really. They totally got screwed over. It, and then the ETs were like, oh, we got all of their consent, like let's just ravage them, which I'm part of that, where I was picked up and my eggs are taken, and they didn't necessarily get my consent. They just did it through like the government, basically the US government, and I'm Canadian. Like, I'm not even technically in their jurisdiction. So, but I know that when it comes to past or like soul contracts and stuff, I did have that in my soul contracts. And that makes me wonder too, like, so if this is a prison system, like, then our soul contracts before we incarnate and our karma also, like, how does that tie into all of this like prison planet system? Like, where does that come in? I don't know. What about your spirit guides? Like, how are those assigned to you? Is there more to all of that as well? Like, is that a scam too? I don't know. Oh man, this is just so messed up. The Galactic Federation of Worlds, man. And like, when they go into a lot of like these negotiation places and stuff, like, I know I've been there too. I've been in some of these places. I know what they're like. And a lot of times when I do and try to like get into the GFL, like where, if it is like remote viewing in or astral projecting in, things like that, I feel like I get kicked out a lot. Like, I'll only be able to get to one of the doors, and then they'll be like, no, you're not allowed in. And their interactions, they go into a fair amount of detail of the interactions with the GFL and the beings that are there. And I get why that, like, they don't want humans coming in. Because first of all, we don't know really what we're doing. Like, Farsight are obviously very professional, advanced. They do know what they're doing. But for me, I'm still trying to figure out so much of this stuff. Like, I don't know everything. So they don't want people like me coming in there, like messing with them, like trying to get answers and information that we're not really supposed to know yet. Like, they're like, you annoying humans. Like, I find it so funny, but also I just feel like we're damned if we do, we're damned if we don't. And like, I don't know, you guys, this is just so crazy. This is so wild. Okay, what else should I show you here? Putin, they go into what, he's being coerced or influenced by reptilians, of course. The reptilians are at the base of everything. They're in the thick of it, all the things. And I've said this before in some of my other videos too. It is the reptilians, time and time again. They're the ones that are on the top of the pyramid, and they don't want anyone else to know that they're on the top of the pyramid. They get the insectoids to do a lot of their dirty work. They get the grays to do majority of the dirty work, like all of the I'm drawing a blank right now. All of the abductions, the grays do it, and the mantis usually help out, I shouldn't say mantis, the insectoids. And like, I had an amazing mantis experience, and now I'm like second guessing, and I'm like, was that being good? Maybe they weren't. Maybe they had other motives and they weren't good to me. Like, I don't know. I have so many more questions. I haven't even watched this one, but I have a feeling I already know exactly what's going on in here. You guys can look into that further too. Where's the I wanted to find the reptilian one here. There's also where we came from, super interesting. They have lots of like major historical places on our planet that they've deep dove into. Human leadership has been compromised. Yes, it has, because all the reptilians have just infiltration on all levels. And literally, even when we die, we are still in prison on this planet. Like, this is so messed up. Anyways, they do have a full thing on reptilians, like where they were and where they are now. I'm trying to find it, but maybe it's on so this is farsightprime.com. You can have a free trial for 7 days. I just got like the monthly package because I'm just watching every single one of them basically. And some of them I'm watching a couple times over because they are long and there's so much information in them. It's so heavy. So you can browse in here, and they have these like pearls. I'm not really sure exactly what it is, but it's just like single little little gems, I guess, where they do like their acting of their remote viewing. So it's kind of strange, but also very interesting. So movies and series that they have here. And these are all like the longer movies. And then they also have it, so it's like broken down into the like introduction, and then it goes into like the different sessions, and it has like the summaries at each of the end of them too. So some of them I've just skipped over the sessions and I've gone right to the summary of it, just to really understand, okay, what is this actually about? And because some of them, man, like they're confusing. They're like, this is next level information. Here it is. The Reptilians, Here and Now. I haven't started watching this one yet, but I'm really, really interested to deep dive into it more. The annihilation of the dinosaurs. I've heard a few different things about these, that like the reptilians were doing these like crazy wild experiments on the dinosaurs, and they were making these like super dinosaur reptilians to take over like everywhere. They're like the Borg, you know, they want to assimilate and like kill or assimilate or both. And then like some of the benevolent groups of ETs were like, you guys have gone too far, reptilians. And then they shot a big thing at the Earth and it just destroyed all of the dinosaurs. It's funny because my 4-year-old son is learning about the dinosaurs in school right now. And you know, like it's funny learning how like humans have just, we've kind of made up our own history, or like what we think is the actual history, and we're teaching it to our young children, but it's not the actual real history. And I see through that veil now of it, and it's just like, holy smokes, you know. And I try and explain some things to my children. They're very young still, so they don't totally get it, but I will raise my children knowing this information, and I'm going to show them Farsight, and I'm going to teach them how to do remote viewing and all the things, so they can really like be totally awakened. They're going to be the weird kids for sure. I was a weird kid. I didn't totally know why I was a weird kid until, you know, at age 33, when I woke up so hard and also had so many visitations from different types of ETs and beings. Man. My husband and I watched the 9/11 ones. We've watched so many 9/11 things, and my husband, he was totally awakened to all the 9/11 stuff, and like I didn't really know about it. I wasn't even curious about it either. I had kind of heard like, oh, it was an inside job, but I was just like, I didn't have that interest to go looking deeper into it until my husband was like, you know, oh, you haven't seen the like digital planes that they put in there that go right through the building, that just like slowed down images of it. And again, holograms they can do so many different things with holograms these days. Pretty wild. Not Hollywood. Hollywood's really good at what they do, making things super realistic. So yeah, it just goes on and on and on. And even when you look at their YouTube, they've been doing this for so long. They have so much content on here, so many videos, so many interviews, Jeffrey Epstein stuff, and then Bitcoin, everything. Goes on and on and on and on and on and on and on. Yeah, they have this one on Jesus too, which is quite interesting. And the crucifixion ruse is, you know, what they're calling it. And Jesus, as I've shared in some of my previous videos, is the consciousness of the galaxy, like our Milky Way galaxy. Or I don't know if Farsight has really gotten into that description or what, maybe it's different, but Jesus knew what was going to happen, and he was like, I don't want to die. I don't want to be crucified. I know I'm going to have to die at some point, because these like idiotic humans don't understand that he has all these abilities because he is a higher dimensional being, and not to be feared, not to be crucified, not, you know, and just the human complex in itself is just like, it's on such a lower scale compared to what else is out there. And it's like, man, why did I get stuck here? Why did I get the short end of the stick? I know I'm learning a lot, but like, screw you guys. This sucks. Anyways, but Jesus, he ends up like getting this drunk guy, or like they drug this guy, and it's actually him who gets crucified, and Jesus like watches, and Judas denies that it's Jesus getting crucified because it's not Jesus, it's someone else. It's so crazy. Like what we think, what we've been told of history is so not true on so many things. It's just, I think that Courtney must have had cancer or something. In some of the older videos, like he is wearing a little scarf on his head in some of them. And then he obviously has like more hair like later on in a lot of the newer ones. So that was something too that I was kind of like confused about. So yeah, I think that was all the things that I wanted to discuss about Farsight. Again, check them out. Go through their free projects, also their resources to do the look at all these lessons of how to properly draw the ideograms, like the drawings, how all the terminology, the language that they use is really interesting. And again, it's based off of the CIA's method. Yeah, so you can also get like the printed material for it too. They have targets for you to use as well. So, and the basic and advanced too. So here it is, folks. If people deny it, you can say like, okay, you try it. You have the ability to do this. So if you want to deny it, before you deny it, try it out first for yourself, and then, criticize it. Because at some point, people are going to realize, whoa, humans have all of these abilities. We can remote view anything in all of time, in all of space time, history, everything. And when we have that unlimited knowledge within us, nobody can really control us at that point. Or, we can see through all of the lies, through all of the BS that the media and the governments and the medical associations, like the institutes, the Rockefeller institutes, the World Economic Forum, all of the BS that they're putting out, especially with climate change, which they themselves are doing it, are controlling that. Now we have really like the full ability to, and all the tools that is needed to uncover the real truth. And it's right here, farsight.org. Check them out. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. And I look forward to seeing you on the next video.